Kentucky and Indiana meet in the NCAA tournament tomorrow for a spot in the Sweet 16. The Cats and the fans are saying about the big game.
A judge has made a decision in the state's request to close a Lexington women's clinic over abortions.
Fayette County is one of several Kentucky counties that is seeing an uptick in the flu virus.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. It's an old rivalry that's heating up in the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow night, Kentucky and Indiana will meet in the second round.
The Cats are expecting a tough game against the Hoosiers, and probably vice versa. Coach John Calipari talking about that a short time ago. Rob Bromley joins us live from Des Moines, Iowa, with our top story at 6. Good evening, Rob.
Sam, Jennifer, so many memorable games between Kentucky and Indiana down through the years, and I don't think anyone will be surprised if we see another one here in Des Moines tomorrow for the right to go on to the Sweet 16 in the East. The Cats getting started on this NCAA tournament trail last night, bringing down the hammer on Stony Brook with defense, and then the offense picking up as the game went along. Now it's Indiana. Speaking on the podium within the last half hour, John Calipari said he expects a fast pace.
We're expecting this game to be fast. I can remember when we played these guys, then they had us play them in 2012, I believe. That game was in the 90s, and it was a high-flying, fast, played fast kind of game. So I would expect this to be the same.
And we will bring it to you right here. Late tomorrow afternoon, it will be a 5:15 tip-off Eastern Time in Des Moines, Kentucky and Indiana. And the game will be followed up by Wildcat Wrap-Up hosted by Brian Milam, as he will have all the post-game reaction for you. And right now, Lee K. Howard is right here along with me. And you talk about the fans. I think they're looking forward to this one.
You know, we were talking to the players. They're not really familiar with the rivalry near as much as the fans are. When the NCAA brackets first come out, Rob, this is one of those games that everyone circled as a potential second-round matchup. And it's been a couple of years, not since 2012 in the NCAA tournament, since these two teams have played against one another.
Fan-wise, that's the matchup you wanted to see. I like our chances. I think we're better than they are. I mean, they're good, but I think we're better.
It's a traditional rivalry, a lot of good games, a lot of history. I do miss the series, but I do think if we have it, it should be played at a neutral site.
While many fans would still like to see the Wildcats and the Hoosiers play every year, other fans could do without it.
I used to like the Indiana game and everything, but with these the Champions Classic, and you're playing Duke and you're playing North Carolina, you're going to UCLA, kind of indifferent about it now. Don't really care if they play them or not.
It was a good series. I miss it. I used to go up to the RCA Dome when it was up there, and they'd split the tickets, then back at Freedom Hall when they had it, and it was a great atmosphere. And Kentucky's 12-1 against Indiana with me in the crowd, so I think we'll be okay.
I think they will be okay. That guy's in the crowd. It's his 13th Kentucky-Indiana game. They've won all but one of them that he's been there. He's going to be there tomorrow. So that right there tells you that Kentucky should get a win tomorrow night. And I will tell you this, whether the fans wanted the annual series back between Kentucky and Indiana or maybe they didn't, they all said they're excited for the game tomorrow night.
What a matchup. Kentucky and Indiana. And it will be Yogi Ferrell against Tyler Eulis. Cal will talk about that coming up shortly in sports. For now, that's it from here in Des Moines. Sam, Jennifer, back to you.
Gentlemen, thank you. The Wildcats may be on the road, but it's still a loud place inside Rupp Arena. Fans of a high school basketball team here in Lexington have a lot to celebrate tonight. The Dunbar Bulldogs trailed in the first half of their Sweet 16 quarterfinal game against Bowling Green, but Dunbar came back and they won the game. And they're moving on now to the semifinals. Fans are proud.
They actually struggled last year, and I think that experience helped them coming into this year. And Coach Chalk's done a great job of getting them prepared, and that we're just proud that they're here.
Dunbar will face Newport Central Catholic tomorrow.
It's been a warm week across the Bluegrass, but that's about to come to an end. The weekend will feel a lot more like winter. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast. Chris, big changes.
Yeah, I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's something we've talked about for more than a week now. Getting you ready for a little taste of wintertime heading into the weekend. Nothing we can't handle, though. Look outside. This is your Friday evening that is kicking off. Some high clouds are streaming on into town. It is still very nice, though. 62 degrees. Winds, that's your big telling sign right now. They're coming from the north, so the numbers are going to drop quickly tonight. With humidity levels at 26%, bone dry, those numbers will come up as well a little later on tonight. In most areas right now, into the low 60s. Notice the 50s, though, showing up in northern Kentucky. Defender radar network. Look how quickly now a little band of some light rain develops across far western parts of Kentucky. Back toward the St. Louis area, Mississippi River. Cold air to the north. Look what's lurking to the south, area of low pressure. Those two will try to get together and throw a little bit of moisture across the bluegrass state into the day tomorrow. Now, if you're out and about this evening, hey, it's not bad at all. It's 59 degrees right after, or just before sunset. After sunset, we're going to drop it quickly into the upper 40s and low 50s. As we go into the weekend, it's a taste of wintertime. A little rain and maybe some wet snow for a few folks out there. Overall, a very busy weather pattern takes shape in the 7-day forecast, and I'll break that down for you in less than 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Governor Matt Bevin's administration claimed a Lexington women's clinic was performing abortions illegally, so the state filed a lawsuit hoping to stop it.
But this afternoon, a judge denied the state's request for a temporary injunction that would close the clinic. Victor Puente has the new details in this case.
2 days ago, attorneys for the state of Kentucky asked a Fayette County judge for an injunction against EMW Women's Clinic to stop them from performing abortions until they get a specific license. Today, that judge says it's unlikely they'll need one. The decision released earlier today by Judge Ernesto Scorsoni said the Commonwealth has not met its burden for obtaining a temporary injunction. The state said EMW Clinic needed an abortion license because that's the only service they provide. On March 3rd, the state filed a suit against the clinic, but it asked for a temporary injunction until the case is resolved. Scorsoni said since the state didn't demand the clinic get a license in 2006 when it was last inspected, there's no reason for it to get one now. He also said closing the clinic is against the public interest. Quote, EMW is the only physician's office that routinely provides abortion services in the eastern half of the state. And both parties agree that a right to an abortion during the first trimester of pregnancy is constitutionally protected. EMW's attorney told me he has advised his client to resume operations and expected they'll reopen next week.
They've asked for a temporary injunction. It was refused, which means we continue the case and have a trial and have a permanent injunction decision. I would expect, given how forceful Judge Scorsoni's opinion was, that it's unlikely that he would change his mind.
White told me he's already spoken to attorneys for the state, and they had advised him they planned on appealing this decision. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Judge Ernesto Scorsoni, who made the decision on the temporary injunction, will also be the judge presiding over the state's lawsuit in Fayette County.
While it's felt like spring lately, flu season is showing no signs of slowing down here in Kentucky. Doctors say many parts of the state, including Lexington, have reported a spike in flu cases in recent weeks. New at 6, Monique Blair talks to doctors about the late surge in flu numbers.
From March 5th through March 12th, 274 new flu cases were reported in Kentucky.
It has spiked a little bit more this year.
The big question seems to be why the sudden surge in the virus. While Lexington Dr. Jeffrey Fox says one possibility could be that the flu vaccine wasn't as effective this year. But even so, he believes the vaccine still cut back on the number of cases there could have been.
It's not 100% effective, but it really cuts your risk down. And even if you catch it, sometimes maybe your symptoms won't be as bad. So yeah, in the fall, get the flu vaccine because we want everybody to get it.
The most common flu symptoms include a fever greater than 100, an achy feeling, and the chills. Dr. Fox says what makes it stand out compared to an upper respiratory infection is how quickly it comes on.
Flu is like, bam, man, I'm sick.
Dr. Fox says the best way to prevent getting the flu virus is to, of course, wash your hands as often as possible. And if you do think you have the flu virus, of course, don't spread your germs to others.
Dr. Fox says if you test positive for the flu, you should treat it as quickly as possible, oftentimes with a prescription for Tamiflu.
If anything, we overbuy so that we have more than enough Tamiflu if there's a real peak in a season.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
State health leaders say the highest numbers of flu cases are in the Lexington, Louisville, and Ashland areas, along with Pike County.
New tonight, former UK basketball player Rex Chapman has been sentenced in an Arizona shoplifting case. Today, a judge sentenced him to 18 months of supervised probation. Court workers say Chapman has already completed a community service requirement. He pled guilty last year to 4 theft charges. Police say Chapman stole $14,000 worth of merchandise from an Apple store and then sold the items at a pawn shop. Since a Richmond police officer died in the line of duty last year, his community has really stepped up to keep his memory alive.
Tomorrow, a memorial 5K will raise money for a foundation started in memory of Officer Daniel Ellis. This afternoon, Garrett Weimer talked to Ellis's widow.
There's been a steady stream of folks out here at Surge Promotions in Richmond today. A good number of the 1,500 runners or walkers have come out to either pick up their packet or register for tomorrow's race. Organizers say they've been amazed by the response from volunteers, sponsors, and runners. All the money from the race will go to the Officer Ellis Foundation, which his widow hopes will keep his legacy alive by helping out the community. 1,500 people are expected to run or walk the 5K. A sign of support, Katie Ellis says, has been overwhelming.
All of this is so encouraging. It's helped me heal. You know, I have good days, bad days, but one day at a time. And when I look around and I see so many people that just love and care about me and my family, it just takes my breath away.
Now for the race, Katie Ellis will wear bib number 422, symbolic of the April 22nd birthday she shared with her husband. Their son Luke will wear number 457, Officer Ellis's badge number. In Richmond, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The race begins at 8:30 tomorrow morning at the Richmond Center. Organizers ask people to carpool if they can and show up early because they are expecting a really big crowd. New tonight, a bill that would extend death benefits to families of fallen paramedics is headed to Governor Bevin's desk.
According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, the State House approved Senate Bill 43 today. The bill calls for families of fallen paramedics to receive $80,000 in death benefits and free tuition at state universities or community colleges. It's named after Chapman County paramedic John Mackey. He died after being hit by a car while on duty last year.
The Voice winner Jordan Smith's new album was released today, and the Harlan County native celebrated with people in his community. Jordan signed autographs and took photos for 2 hours this afternoon at the Harlan Walmart. Some people say they drove for hours just to meet him. Jordan's new album is called Something Beautiful.